One of our most ardent listeners is my friend Adam, who you have met. Shout out to Adam.
Shout out to Adam.
Hell yeah.
He's a dope guy.
But I just the other day, he listened to our last episode, and so the other night I just got a text at like 3 a.m. that was like, "Are you emotionally damaged?" Yeah, you left the forest. You all awoke the next morning. Felicity was reading a story to her younger sister as you all stirred in the morning. You all kind of camped out by the side of the river, just outside the Gloomweald. So you find yourselves waking up to a cool, sunny morning by the banks of the river, with the Gloomweald still lingering, sentinel trees standing tall off in the distance, and Felicity with her young, I say younger sister in air quotes just because, Faye.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Her smaller sibling sat in her lap reading a story. What would you like to do?
Are we heading back to town?
You mean Treybin?
Right.
That was a question.
So I was giving this a bit of a think. We've solved the actual problem, as far as we understand it.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we understand the Father Cochrane is a bit of a piece of shite. He's a dick. That being said, well, no, so it was sort of under him that they did burn. Yeah, so this could happen again in a not one-to-one way.
Right.
I'm open to suggestions.
I've been thinking about it too, and I'm like, I don't want to deal with anyone in that town again, whatever. Maybe just let him think that he solved it, but I think that's a horrible idea, because then he's got that much more power, because he did solve it.
Yeah, we don't expressly want that.
Right. That's my thinking is all.
How do we prove that it wasn't him then?
Proves a strong word.
I'm sorry, pipes up Felicity, looking at you all. Her eyes again returned to that. She's huge eyes that take up an enormous portion of her face, like an anime character.
Yeah.
And they're like, she doesn't really have pupils or irises or anything. It's just like a field of stars. She pipes up, closing the book. Her sibling also kind of looks up at you all appraisingly, sat in her lap. I was under the impression that you had come here to bring me to justice. Is that not the case?
To justice.
Well, I did poison the whole Galar Plains.
Right.
That is a way of putting it. However, I'm no person of the law myself, but you weren't exactly entirely under your own power all the time there.
My focus is more on putting things back in balance, and retribution very seldom has anything to do with that. You're not going to do it again, are you?
Well, no. But I still did it. And it may not have been my fault, but it certainly is my responsibility.
Our task was to put an end to the blight, and we did that. And I don't see why we need to do anything more than what we were tasked with doing.
If you feel like you need to take responsibility for something, I think that's your prerogative, but I'm certainly not going to pass anything on you.
Forgive me, I've not spent much time amongst your kind. I came here to try to learn, and I had just assumed that amongst your folk, unless you're very wealthy, when you do wrong, you're punished.
It is true that unless you're very wealthy, you are usually punished.
Yeah, there's a lot of crimes that the punishment for them is to pay money, a fine, which just means it's a crime for poor people.
At this point, the sibling, which you have still not learned the name of yet,
we haven't.
in Felicity's lap, kind of looks upwards towards her sister's face. Are these folks trying to take you away again, Felicity?
I'd like to see them try.
Turning her face back to you.
That was really horrible.
So, no, we're not doing that. It's alright.
Good, you couldn't.
I don't believe we
Right.
ever got your name.
Me?
Mm-hmm.
I never gave it, silly.
Mm-hmm.
I think we had that discussion before.
Oh,
as
you're
well.
right, we did.
At which point Felicity again starts to speak. Please do forgive my sister, Ferocity. We are two heads of the same coin, if you will.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense now.
Yeah.
Vibrant place, your home, as far as I understand it.
Felicity speaks again. Well, so, if you don't intend to bring me back to face justice, what is it you intend to do?
Well, we were sort of having that deliberation amongst ourselves, actually.
For although what danger there is to the people and the planes themselves is now, in theory, completely done with, the person responsible for your tribulations still remains at large, in a position of great power amongst the people.
You intend to try to dethrone this father that I learned about in my time in the city.
I think we're gauging how big of a threat he is to the future.
We might be remiss to leave such an open flame unattended.
And I'm not saying I've got a great deal of love for the capital itself, but should they ever need to come in and intercede on their own, they're only going to make themselves enemies. Whereas if we do it now, then I don't know. Does that make sense?
It does not make sense.
I think so.
What would we plan to do with him?
That's a good question.
If it is anything short of killing him, what form would that take?
I doubt there's a jail that could hold him.
What could you even prove?
Nothing. That's what I mean.
I don't think we need to kill him. My fear is that if we don't go back and let everyone believe that he fixed things, which they will, and he will tell them so, that will give him even more power, and I don't want him to have that much power over these people. It's not fair to them because he's not wielding it in any sort of right way.
Which brings me back to my point is how do we prove that it's us that fixed it in the first place?
Right.
Do we need to?
Well,
If we walk back into town after he expressly told us to leave, say that we fixed things, without proof he can just as easily claim it was him.
I am speaking to the task that was set before us by...
Alasia.
Thank you. The good has been done. Do you
Right.
require credit?
No, I don't at all. I'm only wondering whether or not it's more harmful to leave him where he is, or for my own personal wanting to keep people safe, remove him.
that's all I'm saying, is that if we let him take the credit, he gains more power.
Up until this point, the harm has only been that some people being... I don't know, we've all got our own delusions, I suppose, but he did cause fairly grievous harm to our friend over there.
He's a terrible horror, he is. And Felicity sort of gets like an empty behind the eyes look. Even though her eyes are just starry fields for a mo. He's twice again as horrible as Fairy is on the outside.
This we know.
Is there any influence upon him as there was on you?
You know, I almost wish I could say yes. Then that would give him some sort of excuse, but no. He's just a bastard.
What would you do to him?
Me? Well, nothing. I've learned my lesson. I'll go back to the Weald and never again come forth.
I'm not saying it's a wrong lesson to have learned, but it's an unfortunate one. And I am sorry for what they have done to you.
No need to apologize for what you haven't done yourself.
No, but someone should.
I can't quite say anyone, the ones that lashed me or the ones that watched as I burned her to blame either. They were just looking for some kind of guidance, and he told them that was it.
Have we found out what sort of governmental system Arcadia is? It's a republic, right?
Yes, so, yeah, sidebar. The way that it, really briefly, the way that it kind of works is that really it's more of a confederacy than a republic.
Mhm.
They're bound together through economic ties rather than any sort of governmental or policy terms.
Are we outside of the Dutch's
No, you are.
duchy's jurisdiction?
So the way that it works is each city-state still relatively governs itself by itself. Laws are designated by each individual city-state. The things that the Republic, that Arcadia sets up for everybody is mostly just business stuff, trade laws, upkeep of roads, stuff like
It's a
that.
merchant confederation.
Kinda, yeah,
Oh.
more than anything else, yeah. There is a mayoral system, so there's always a representative of Arcadia in each city. So, like, Miles Paisley was that in Treybin. And so supposedly he would be the highest authority in the city. But they're still roughly self-governed, particularly Caradron, where the dwarves are, because their bride does not allow a lot of oversight.
How was... Oh, fuck, that's right, because the mayor is... Fuck, okay.
Should we maybe find a way to speak clandestinely again with the mayor and see what he thinks? If we could give him the credit for removing the blight, then it might help him wrest power back from the father.
If he's still alive.
That man inspires no confidence from the people.
No, but I'd feel better putting responsibility back in the hands of the person who allowed power to be taken from him and let them sort out their own problems than meddle in business that isn't really mine.
Oh, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm disagreeing with the notion that he would wrest back power in the first place.
Well, you never know what a little bit of confidence might do for someone.
Indeed.
If it were that easy, however, if he's still alive, and how, if we run into the same problem of how to prove he did it versus how to prove we did?
The problem here is not proving who or who not removed the blight. The problem here is that the father has created a cult of personality around him that will not easily be broken either way.
Yes.
So how do we shake their faith in him?
You may not be able to. This is what I'm getting at.
There are very few ways to prove mortality.
I don't necessarily like taking a life that doesn't need to be taken.
You want to execute him?
What are our alignments, out of curiosity?
Chaotic neutral.
Chaotic neutral. That question was for Alcyone though, yeah?
That was for everybody.
Not good.
I see.
You mean to execute him?
If we're talking about the fastest way, assuming, I mean, again, he certainly has capabilities to him, and he also has a great deal of power over individuals, and he could certainly put any of them in harm's way in his place, hostage-like and such, so it could become very messy very quickly.
Right.
It sort of
That's all I'm
seems
thinking of.
it sort of seems like the pattern of Surrie and I's work is putting power back in the hands of many individuals rather than
One
leaving it in the
correct
hands of
individual.
one,
If you can.
if we can. It'd be hard to break them of being eyes and ears and nose and foot and whatever else they are.
I would not like to be a foot. Smelly. Here's a thought. What if we go... I mean, certainly he made it implicitly clear that he wanted us gone. But was the blight ended? And if he believes us, can we not discuss things?
Work out a deal?
What would the terms be?
Oh, I have no idea, but that conversation would be fascinating.
That's what the discussion is for. We can try to go back. We will not be welcomed warmly, as I'm sure you all realize.
If
I don't
nothing
need to
else,
tell you that, but
we could go check up on the mayor and see how he fares.
I appreciate your optimism.
at least we'll know one way or the other.
That's true. I think there's nothing for it but to head back to town to see if we can get in either way.
I think so.
If we cannot stroll our way in through daylight, perhaps we make a large entrance afterwards.
And if it
A
becomes
large entrance.
If you prefer a more sneaky, tactful approach, that's certainly some people's
Well.
prerogative. But I
and,
bore off that very quickly.
and if it becomes more trouble than it's worth, we can always turn back to Arcadia and wash our hands of the whole thing.
I understand that, but what's the difference between making a large entrance after nightfall and a large entrance during the day?
Presentation.
Perhaps fewer innocents about.
Either way, shall we get going?
Yes.
What do you intend to do with me then?
As far as I'm concerned, you're up to your own devices, unless you need something from us.
No, I suppose not. Learned my lesson about trying to lend a helping hand.
Although... Did you learn anything of this being that possessed you at all? Is there any perhaps useful information you could share with us?
You see a sort of a shiver run up and down her whole body. I don't know much of what took me over. I was introduced to whatever it was through the one you slew. They came to me offering me secrets, magical knowledge, things I could do to cast my will over those around me, let's say.
Yeah.
I turned them aside initially. I just wanted to help the people after all and was more than capable of doing that myself. When I went to town, perhaps I was just naive, but I mistook the hatred in their eyes for curiosity and for uneasiness, which I thought, naive as I was, I thought I could change with a little bit of goodwill. But that was not the case. And so after they tried to burn me, and I returned, I was just so angry and so hurt and so broken. It came back to me in a weak moment, and I accepted. I didn't really meant to hurt anyone. I was just so angry. Faye, our emotions run high, our tempers a knife's edge. And when my head finally cleared, I was just too deep into it to pull out at that moment. He's a horrible thing. He touches your mind and grabs hold and refuses to let go. And if you try to resist, it's like pins and needles in your very soul.
Can you tell us where to find him?
I wouldn't know. He finds you. He saw you all. I worry for your safety now. He does not respond kindly to those who resist him.
I don't mean to come across as arrogant.
Then maybe don't. In this instance, she is right.
Well, in any event, I wish you the very best of luck. And she sort of gets back to her feet and lifts Ferocity up into her arms and is kind of like throws her over her shoulder. You've done me a great service, and I don't know how to thank you, but you have a friend in the Feywilds, if that ever becomes relevant.
Uh-oh.
And however everything went here for you, you do have 4 friends at least.
5. Hold up my little guy.
This little one. There's a soul behind those eyes I haven't seen before. Curious.
Word, so 4th intercostal space, is that it?
Stop,
Yeah,
stop.
let me just real quick, let me just.
Stop.
Well, in any event, you've done me a great turn, and I wish you the best.
Be well.
Thank you for rescuing my sister. Enjoy the book.
Thanks for the story.
Oh no, thank you.
Hope that Eggman's alright.
Oh, he always is.
He'll be fine.
I know you quite like your storybook. I'm going to take my Maggie fairy tale book.
Mm-hmm.
If you ever get bored of those, I highly recommend some of these.
She takes the book, eyes growing even wider, if that's
Jesus.
possible.
Yeah.
Lady, are you okay?
Where's her head?
Woman.
Underneath all his eyes.
That's kind. Felicity, bring me closer to this one.
Put it on the back.
She does so. And as she brings Ferocity closer to you, she just reaches out one tiny little hand and puts just one little finger on your forehead. Gain an inspiration.
Yeah.
You gotta share good books when you get it.
Okay, Fissy, we can go. And they do turn back to the Weald, entering. You watch them walk a ways, and then eventually they just disappear into the darkness between the trees. You stand by the side of the river.
I'm gonna saddle up Weird Horse. Let's get going. That's what I thought you'd say.
Which end?
Other end.
Both of them. All of them.
Yeah.
Every single
Every
one.
end.
To every
I love
end.
Weird Horse so much. I'm gonna nestle the little guy in the saddlebag, but so that he can like look out and not get jostled too much. I know.
He's very clingy since you got back. He seems to have not been very appreciative of your time separated.
I guess the horse was not an excellent babysitter.
He's getting older now. He doesn't need a babysitter all the time.
Yeah, he's aged considerably.
He's bigger.
There's gonna come a time
Is
when
he?
he feels a little heavier, and I gotta
Yeah,
take
he
him
is
out and
a-
heft
he
him a
is
little
heavy.
bit.
So if he was like when you first got him, if he was a guinea pig, he was like guinea pig size.
He did say you
When
could
he
hold
first
him in your
hatched.
hands.
Oh my god, I've been thinking he was so big this whole time.
No, he was like guinea pig size when he first came.
I
Yeah.
thought like Labrador puppy at least.
Oh no. He's
Oh
been
my
like
God.
guinea pig size.
Oh my
You were
god.
carrying him around in your shirt.
Yeah.
Pikachu weighs 30 pounds! Ash has the neck muscles of a god!
Pika.
Yeah, if he was guinea pig size now he's probably like Labrador puppy.
Yeah, okay.
He's much bigger.
He's got much bigger. There's gonna come a time when
Like a baby Fergus.
he's too big for me to carry around with me anymore.
You could just become stronger.
You could.
I could do that, you're right.
If you lift him, you'll always be able to carry him. To be fair, I don't know anything about that sort of thing. You should talk to Perseus if you want regiments.
I thought you meant about babies, and I was like, you were the oldest.
I know all about babies.
I know.
don't
I
really
figured.
know.
Sorry.
Really
They're
know.
small, loud, and
Shouldn't
poopy. And you have to be nice to them because they're technically related to you.
I don't really know anything about babies.
Do you have younger siblings?
No, older.
No?
That's funny.
Well, then you were the one who pooped and had to be nice to instead.
No,
Oh, he was not nice to me when we were not nice to each
Well,
other.
there you go.
You were younger and you're the better fighter. That's good.
Yeah.
He was the older one, wasn't he?
That too. Yeah, it made him really mad.
Good. Anyway, for like the fourth time.
Youngest are often better fighters.
We've been
Oh, we're riding.
we're
Okay.
riding.
we're riding.
We can talk and ride.
So you're going back to Treybin.
Yeah, for whatever dumb fucking reason.
Man.
No,
your adventure.
I'm not. That is not a crucial decision. I think it's great. I just think it's very funny because I can't wait to see what the fuck they do
Yeah,
about
I
it.
can't. I
So-
can't get enough of Henry Jenkins' chili.
So
Really?
what I was gonna say is, do we want to come up with a more concrete plan, or are we just gonna ride on in and see what happens?
Yeah, why would we bother planning something?
But
Because
feel
I have a
free,
16 intelligence.
Ooh.
Sir, feel free to spitball. I love hearing them.
Well, I don't know.
Well, they're always good. You have such
Oh,
excellent
mine?
ideas.
All right.
Yes.
Well, you're the one who talks to people.
Yes.
Would you like to try doing that?
I improvise. I don't write the scripts.
That's fine. That's
Alright.
fine. I'm just saying. Is that a plan? Would you? I don't know. Are we just gonna ride in and like see what happens and go from there? Or are we gonna like hide out and wait, or like sneak in?
Well, if it was just one of us, and it was just a sheriff we were riding into,
Mayor.
everyone... No, if there was a sheriff. If there was a sheriff. Everyone would be...
Well, there's not.
The sun would be going down, and everyone would be peeking out through doors of various buildings.
Yeah, and there'd be like a tumbleweed.
Right.
You guys are always talking about stories I've never read.
Can you read?
Yes, I can read.
Okay.
Alcyone.
It's kind of a joke.
Alright,
Oh.
fine. But there's not a sheriff, so
Well, he would say, Don, I told you to clear out of here. And they would
this town
say,
ain't big enough for the two of us, right?
no, why would you say that?
That's something I read once.
Well, just find out that.
You're right, never mind.
Kashek, do you have anything you'd like to talk about? I'm gonna fall behind these two.
You might actually get along with Perseus really well.
Kashek, you are an excellent
I enjoyed our
companion.
time together.
I've been told this.
Wait, why? Why?
Nothing. Oh, it's too easy. You really were the youngest, weren't you?
I was.
Treybin is
Fine.
appearing on the horizon.
Well, I guess we'll just ride it and see what
It
happens.
was just fun to mess with Castor. He was so sincere all the time. Bless him, he's simple.
I'm not as bad as he is, am I?
Oh, no.
All right. Any more planning, or are you just right?
Planning?
Let's just ride on in.
All right, you ride on in.
My plan is fully formed.
Okay,
It
great.
has one step.
So this time you are approaching from the west. Do you ride into the west entrance?
Let's just go. Who cares how we get there? Sorry.
But we left out the east.
Does it?
Yeah.
That's the only reason I asked.
Just to throw them off to think we were going back to Arcadia, that's all.
What if we came back and we said, and another thing?
Do you want to go like all the way around and come from like the south, or
Oh, see, I hadn't thought about that. Now, how do we want to play that?
we got really lost? We've just been walking around in circles for 2 days.
A day. We left town yesterday morning.
But
That was an entire day. We fought
One
that
day.
enormous meaty thing of cows, and
And
then
then
we
that-
short rested.
and then that
we went.
hag turned us into animals.
That was in the book. I don't know if any time actually passed out here.
Oh.
If I'm being
Oh,
honest.
I was counting that.
Wait, I do have a question. Sorry, Kashek, I know the conversation was riveting, and then I kind of like gallop up with the tieflings. What did those beans do?
Do you want to find out?
No.
No,
Oh.
there's no way she would have said that.
For those listening at home, I forgot to mention at the end of last episode what you guys came out of the storybook with. So yes, you have a bag of magic beans, and the golden egg just turned into an enormous lump
I
of
forgot we had
gold
that.
ore.
Hold on.
Is it still shaped like an egg?
Relatively obvious, yes.
Huh.
So it's just a bag of beans of the four colors that you saw. I forget how many I told you
It's a
last
lot.
time how many. It was like
13.
13.
Yeah.
Yep.
More than 4.
13 bean.
Yeah, I don't know. You could eat one. We could plant one.
I hazard a guess they're probably some sort of magic, so I might avoid eating them.
absolutely. That's fair.
Just putting things in your mouth is not like the first place to go, unless you are in fact 2.
But, alright, well, yeah, no, that's fair enough.
Now, if you want to throw it over that way and see what happens if it hits the ground, I don't know.
So they're dangerous. All right, let's find out what they do when we need to.
They might not be.
Wonder if Father Cochran likes beans. We
That
brought
was
you
an
some-
idea.
Feed one to
That
him.
was
We brought
an
you
idea,
some
actually.
beans as an apology.
What if it... Oh, see, that could go really badly. What if it makes him more powerful, though? What if it's like super strength bean?
Do we decide what direction we're approaching this town from?
Oh, if no one has any strong opinions, we can continue on to the west. That's fine.
Let's just get there and get it over with.
Yeah.
All right.
That away.
I don't want to talk to him again. I really hated him.
Well, you don't have to. I'll do the talking.
Well.
Although he will talk to you.
He will talk to
People
me.
like talking
And
to
he'll
you.
Hi
look at
God,
me.
what's going on?
People like talking to you.
No, it's just great. It's all
Don't
great.
know
I love
why.
everybody.
Well, you're very pretty.
Oh, thank you. Well, so are you.
I
You're
love
good at
roleplay, you know that.
Yes, but I'm also an asshole, so get the clock down pretty quick.
I can be.
But look at you. Anyway.
So you ride back into Treybin through the western entrance.
Hole in the wall.
Yeah. It's not a walled settlement. It just sort of like
Shit.
meanders
Dig
off until there's nothing, until it's just plain again. But yes, there are sort of like these two crossroads that intersect in the city, and you enter in through the western one. As you make your way back into town, it's much as you left it. people milling about, busy with their daily work or chores or whatever else there is. This time, however, you got a lot of odd looks the last time you were here. People, a woman carrying the washing would just look at you oddly, but carry on with her task. This time when you enter, people stop what they're doing as they see you come into town, as if they're a little unsure of what your presence here means.
To town square, I think.
So when we were riding in the very first time to Treybin, we saw signs of the blight. Did we see those same signs as we were going?
Well, so
towards
when
the
you
field?
were like maybe a mile or two directly outside the city had all been cleared away, and so that's still the case. That's a great question. As you were making your way back across the countryside, all of the sort of like magical growth that you've seen before, the almost like forest, like mushroom, like growths, seemed to be beginning to wither a little bit. It hasn't like disappeared.
Yeah.
But it has begun to wither a little bit.
Cool. Good to know.
So it's like noon, because it's been several hours worth of riding, yeah?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Okay.
Yes, so you continue to ride through town, people kind of stopping in their tracks upon seeing you.
Seren's feeling kind of feisty. If they're gonna stare anyway, I'm just gonna pull my hood and my mask down and go full drow on the world.
You do so. Yeah, and as you make your way through the streets, maybe some, if they're walking with their children, they kind of gather them up and make their way sort of in the opposite direction that you're heading. Some stop full out, just looking at you with confusion and awe. But yeah, you're making your way back to sort of the center of town. Mm-hmm. You do so.
Uh-oh.
Like the way that happened, but okay.
No, it's okay.
No, we're friends.
No, that is what I didn't like.
No, it's fine.
No.
There's no, the center of town is busy as it ever is, but no sight of Father Cochrane or anything, if that's what you're on the lookout for. It's the same as you left it, just yesterday, I guess. Fuck, time is funny indeed.
Isn't it weird? It was a very long day yesterday.
It's a very, very long day.
A lot of shit happened.
Yeah, It's just as you left it. Whiskey River stands as it ever did. The mayor's house, slightly taller than the rest of the buildings.
So it hasn't been beheaded.
No, the house hasn't.
Yeah, alright.
What would you like to do?
Any signs of a second ruckus in the town square?
No. What? Give me an investigation check.
Uh-oh.
25.
Ooh.
Not a ruckus. It's very well trodden. With a 25, it looks as if maybe there was a big assembly here at some point recently.
Okay.
Because all the footsteps are kind of facing in the same direction.
The footprints spell out lynch mob.
Any sign of Llewellyn or Stubbs?
Not that you can see immediately.
Should have gone back to
Big
that.
town.
Should have gone back to that river with the trout in it. Now, here's a question: do we go to Mayor Paisley or do we go to Father Cochrane?
What do you think the mayor would do?
Be happy to know that his town is safe from being poisoned again.
True. But we give Father Cochrane more time to get there.
I'm sure he knows we're here already.
That is my point.
Do we wait for him to come to us?
I thought that would look nice, but if we do want to go see him, I'm on board with that as well.
There isn't a specific spell for amplifying sounds. You can only do it artificially.
Thaumaturgy can allow you
Thaumaturgy?
to sound, you specifically to
Your
sound
voice.
louder,
Oh, okay.
but I don't have that.
Yeah, I was gonna say. I was like, outside, you could just call him a bitch.
Motherfucker!
What's the
I
plan?
mean, I
I'm
could.
not that kind of tiefling.
What?
I'm not that kind of tiefling
Are we?
that has thaumaturgy.
Are we going to the father, or are we waiting for him to show up here?
I like the idea of waiting here, but if we
I
have
do too.
other opinions, by all means.
But that makes it a split vote.
I think I have Sky right.
Don't waste the
He
spell
already
slot.
knows what he
Don't waste the
is.
spell slot. We're gonna have to kill a priest if we don't waste the spell slot.
It's only a second level spell.
I don't like that face.
Oh, have you not seen him? Never mind.
I've been purposely not looking.
He's been rolling.
You're just
He's
that
been
George
rolling
Takei
and
gif.
counting.
No, I'm just waiting to see what you guys are. I didn't really have a plan for this session because I knew this is how it was going to go. And there was going to be like some unsurety about how to proceed, and I'm just kind of winging it based on what you guys do. So what would you like to do?
That makes the best sessions.
I like the idea of waiting. The bull's in his court. He can come find us.
Yes. He did not explicitly say we could never return.
That's true.
He was being implicit. We could be stupid. I'm sure he thinks we are.
I'm sure he does.
Some of us really are.
No.
Well.
Two kinds of sisters.
So are you just hanging out in the square, or
Yeah, I'm just leaning on the
Like
well.
on a... Oh, do we ditch the horses? Or?
I was going to.
Yeah, that's fine.
Actually,
No, that's better.
I haven't hitched Weird Horse anywhere. I'm just kind of letting him go.
Power move.
He can do what he wants.
Yeah, he's his own horse. Let him nibble on a kid. I don't know.
That's what they'll do!
Shouldn't.
Horses are so scary.
yeah. So
Found Stubbs.
Weird Horse is just kind of milling about. Maybe he walks over to a farmer's cart who's like trying to make their way through town with a bushel of hay and begins nibbling on it, and the farmer's sort of like, oh come on, and like it speedily gets his way out. But yeah, he's just sort of meandering about, and so all of you are just sort of like bold as you like, hanging out in the middle of town.
Actually leaning on the well if I can.
In all seriousness, Kashek is going to sit cross-legged and meditate with his staff laid across his legs. Lap.
Okay.
Oh boy. Well,
No,
Kashek
no, no.
doesn't-
Not to make this
Kashek
wildly
didn't hear that.
difficult for you.
It's a bold choice.
Yeah.
Okay.
My eyes are closed, but my hearing could never be better.
Where are you going?
She's stressed.
Not quite time to take a lap, but
So.
post it up in the
We're
center of
really
town.
cool. We're taking pictures for this calendar.
No, yeah, you guys look great.
I look cool as shit.
Here you are.
My
Post
horse
it
is
up.
there.
Bold as you like, in the center of town. Activity continues around you, though people are definitely taken aback when they see you as they move through town.
Mm-hmm.
You're there for maybe 10 minutes or so. After so, you see, passing through the middle of town, Stubbs, Llewellyn, and their mother,
Yeah.
making their way through town. Stubbs turns to the four of you and his face alights as soon as he sees all of you standing in the city square, and he immediately begins running across the town hall towards you all.
Yeah.
His mother looks horrified
But
Uh-oh.
yeah, no.
and reaches out to as if to grab and stop him, but is not quick enough. He goes, Stubbs Fairfather, don't you dare! But he's off, running towards you, beaming. I knew y'all couldn't have done it. They said you did, but I knew. And at that very same moment, marching down the southern
Oh, yeah.
road, you see 9 individuals in full plate armor with that burning rose emblazoned into their breastplate,
Oh, the church is gonna be mad at us.
marching towards you. Stubbs, at the sound of the commotion, kind of turns and then falters a little bit, seeing them march up the southern road, and then just looks back to all of you, very confused.
You should go be with your mother now.
What? But I don't...
We'll talk in a little later.
At which point, Trish Fairfellow has caught up to her son and sort of scoops him up and is holding Llewellyn by the hand. She gives a horrified look to all of you and immediately turns on her heels and walks the other way.
Give her a little wave.
Just look at her.
The 9 heavily armored, heavily armed figures approach you all and sort of fan out, forming a circle around you in the middle of the town square here. And then one figure who you recognize as one of the sort of guards standing outside the church when you first went there yesterday on your arrival here. You'll be coming with us to the church.
Sorry, Mr. Toe, is it?
I won't say again. You'll be coming with us to the church. Step lively now, if you please.
I don't think he was Toe.
If he is, I don't think he's very happy about it.
Well, we're going to go, are we not?
Of course. No, we're waiting on the hospitality of the father.
Just wasn't sure if we were invited, that's all.
I'm inviting you now.
Thank you.
That does
Thank
seem
you.
clear.
That's
It does
very
seem
kind.
clear at this moment.
It's immediately kind of like about faces and begins marching back down towards the southern road towards the church.
You be a good horse now.
Scoop.
Little guy.
Gods be with you all, I guess.
I have hitched.
Mercy
I have hitched my horse, and little guy is safely tucked somewhere.
In the saddlebag. He really doesn't like being left in the saddlebag, but he understands.
You don't want to put him with Weird Horse? It'd be far safer to with your
It's true.
whatever that is.
Weird Horse can defend himself.
Yeah. Okay, I'll do that.
No
Oh,
offense.
I was joking. That's a bad idea. You don't know where he's
No,
going
it's
to
a
be.
great idea.
You plop him on top of Weird Horse, and he starts to nibble Weird Horse's mane. Weird Horse in turn turns his head around and starts licking him, and they look perfectly content.
Okay, great.
Friends, it's perfect.
Okay.
I honestly thought Weird Horse was going to open up his mouth and just sort of place the baby's head in his mouth. Not eat or bite even, just sort of, well, you know?
We should go.
All right.
So you all,
I've had a great day.
with the guard, begin to move back towards the church.
Oh, yeah.
Pull out a flask.
I'm not stepping lively for what it's worth.
Sure. So, under armed escort, you make your way back, standing outside of the Church of the Luminary, which you were at yesterday. And as you approach, standing arrayed on the rising steps that lead towards the main surface, you see 3 more priests, like you saw sort of attending to business inside, standing a few steps down from the main landing. And up at the very top, standing in front of the swung wide doors, you see Father Cochran. Mm-hmm. And as you approach the facade of the church, your armed guard continues to march and arrays themselves in sort of a line at the bottom of the steps, 9 of them there, standing at attention. So it's sort of like 9 at the bottom, 3 in sort of the middle of the steps up, and then Father Cochran at the top, arrayed in sort of a pyramid, standing before you all.
It's very impressive.
Father Cochran looks down at all of you, stood at the bottom of the stairs, appraisingly. Well, I must say, I did not expect you back, at least so soon. Get lost on your way back to the capital?
Dreadfully, unfortunately.
Well, I would say so, seeing as you done yourselves square around, ended up back where you started. Oh, isn't that funny? Well, I appreciate you all coming here today. I wanted to ask you some questions.
Then it's a good thing we've returned.
So it would seem. Our dear, and as he speaks, townsfolk kind of start filtering in behind you all, and a bit of a mob seems to be forming up behind you. Well, a crowd. Not a mob, yeah. A crowd.
Yeah.
Our dear Mayor Paisley has gone missing. And the last people he was seen with in flesh and blood was you 2. And he points to Alcyone and Kashek. Funny, on the day you flee our town, the mayor goes missing. And now you've returned, like moths drawn to the flame. What do you have to say for yourselves?
I take exception with the word flee. We were asked to leave. You said you had the matter well in hand.
I said do enjoy the simple comforts our town does have to offer, but that your services were not needed. You may rest and recuperate such as you please, and then at a leisurely pace you may set on back to the capital. The time of your choosing was yours alone.
Is that why you escorted us out?
Escorted? I would say gave a fond farewell.
That's what you would say.
I don't think that line's going to work with him.
But this dodges my original intent and question. Now, our mayor has gone missing, and the last people he was seen with was you 2. Now, I, being a man of God, do not mean to cast aspersions, but the question begs to be asked. Where is our mayor?
A fine question. Indeed it is, as I'm sure the one person you can evidence with that we met in the first place with him would clearly testify that we left without the company of the good mayor.
Let me lay out the evidence as is such known before this fair court of public opinion.
Please.
The mayor, in his old age, became a bit of a recluse, a bit of an agoraphobe, if I may use your falutin language, miss.
I didn't make it.
I'm sorry, how old did the mayor look when we talked to him?
Not that old.
That's
Yeah.
okay.
This guy's like
30.
22.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
No.
yeah. No, he's like 26.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Anyway, shut in for most of his days until, strangely, for some reason, you saw fit to break into his home during non-business hours and speak to them. Now, the contents of that, and he's speaking very loudly, louder than he would need to reach your ears, very purposefully speaking so that the entire gathered crowd can hear. Broke into his home after business hours and had a conversation with the mayor. And after that conversation took place, we cannot account for his whereabouts.
I lean over to Alcyone and louder than I would need to. Did you break in?
It certainly doesn't sound like Kashek, at least. He loves to knock.
Kashek does really love to knock
I
on
can't
doors.
imagine he would pass up an opportunity to knock on a door.
My friends, I sense hostility in your tone. You must understand I do not mean to cast aspersions. We are just so very worried about our dear mayor. I did not mean to sound accusatory. Please let us talk civilly and at ease. We just want to locate him, if he still can be located.
Well, since we did come here originally to help, and it seems that the blight problem's taken care of, perhaps we could locate your mayor for you.
Well, that'd be mighty fine if you could. I suppose as representatives of the crown, that would fall upon you.
To aid this fair town of Treybin, I think that's more than reasonable for us to make an effort to find the good mayor, especially since we conversed with him only just, 2 days ago now.
Very well. You volunteer to search for him then?
I believe you asked us.
I only meant to ask you what happened in that fateful meeting we know not the contents of which.
I wasn't there.
What did happen in that fateful meeting?
Kashek and I simply wish to gauge, from the mayor's perspective, the situation occurring with the surrounding area. Not naturally, of course, with Treybin itself. You all done an excellent job handling the blight.
Well, as I have said before, the plague was well in hand, a byproduct of your city comforts infecting the hard-working souls and spirits of our fair farm folk.
Now, you must judge us for being city folk in the first place. Gesturing vaguely at Kashek.
Those raised in sin were never given the opportunity to learn the love of the luminary. I blame you not for this.
Indeed. But we simply wish to discuss from his perspective. Knowing, of course, that you had matters well in hand. It seemed that he was a free man of his own will, and we wished to learn of his thoughts. We learned them. They differed not greatly at all from your own, and we departed from his place of dwelling. She didn't pause, I did.
Gotcha. So your story is that you went to speak to the mayor. He told you what exactly?
Essentially everything you've told us.
And then you were on your way.
We were.
How mighty curious and strange. Well, it would appear then we do not know the reason for his absence now.
It appears, certainly, that we do not know.
Very well. He sort of looks like he's calculating for a moment.
People still around en masse?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. What is the vibe of the crowd right now?
It's tense.
Yeah.
It's tense.
Can I tell what direction? Like what? I don't know. Can I vibe check this crowd?
Sure, yeah. Vibe, give me a vibe check roll. Insight.
All right.
No.
Diddly piddly piss.
Was that not cocked?
No.
That is measly 11.
It's hard. It's tense.
Yeah.
And not necessarily favorable towards you.
No.
Not
People
necessarily.
are giving you... People are inclined to listen to Father Cochrane.
Sure.
And he has not said outright that he thinks you are the murderers yet.
Murders?
Oh, I didn't know he was dead!
But people
This
are...
man is only implication. This man is all implicit.
yeah,
That is what
yeah.
we're dealing with.
That's
But
what I'm saying.
People look very wary of you. They all think you're the imposter.
Cool, great.
Yeah, they would.
So shall you require our help locating him or not?
Well, as representatives of the Crown, I certainly cannot stop you from imposing your own investigation. And really, at the end of the day, all we want is the safe return of our dear beloved mayor. Is that not right, fine folk? There's like sort of a murmur through the crowd. If you wish to investigate, I shall not stop you.
Can I make an insight check on that specific statement?
Sure. What are you trying to discern?
Will he actually try to impede us if we do investigate?
Okay, go ahead.
Whether he's being truthful about that statement, I
Yeah.
think, yeah.
15.
Man, you can't read this guy. He's done this. He's really good at this.
Yeah.
We don't wish to be troublesome, Father Cochrane, of course. But we do want to assist any way we can in this fair town of yours.
Well then, far be it from me to stand in the way of the representatives of the Republic. Be about your business then, with my fond and grateful thanks.
Very gracious of you.
And you have our thanks.
Well then, be about it.
We give a courteous nod of the head.
You do so. And as you all turn to go, oh, just one more thing though. Where is it you were yesterday? I mean, you left by the east road, and yet today you arrived from the west. I understand getting turned around, but these plains are wide and vast. Not much good for getting lost in. You can see as far as you need to go. Only one place trips people up here in the Gower Plains, and that's out west, to the Gloom Weald. And a sort of a shudder and a murmur runs through the crowd.
I imagine it would trip folk up. But our main trouble came in the form of some more livestock that were run afoul by this horrible plague. We attempted to deal with them as we had before, but unfortunately some foul magics were upon them, and they attempted to wrest our lives from us very forcefully, turning into a giant monster made of meat. It was horrific. I hope that no one saw that from the town itself. We needed a good rest, and did rest ourselves by the river yesterday afternoon and evening, and then came back the same way.
Funny you should mention that, but no, none of us observed such an event. Just as none of us observed what happened in the mayor's private chambers.
Then perhaps you need to check your eyes.
Only a persuasion check there, buddy.
I do this to me.
Wow.
I do this to me. I don't mean to.
That was so good, though.
Thank you. It's a 23.
Whoa.
Not with this guy though. Or maybe the audience.
But-
Maybe the audience. Yeah.
But that burn, though.
It felt good. It felt okay.
I see with the clarity of the luminary all that he observes. I am privy to. You may be about your business.
Gracious as ever, Father Cochrane.
Enjoy your stay in Treybin.
We shall.
You'll know where to find us.
Oh, trust me on that account. I certainly do.
I will turn to the crowd and make to walk through it.
You do so, and they part, like, actually quite insistent on being a distance from you as you move through the crowd. They easily part as you walk.
I try and like catch eye contact with one or two people and just sort of like grab the brim of my big broad sun hat and just give a little tip as we walk through. Smiling all the way.
They all kind of look a little terrified of you.
All the better. I show the fangs a little bit.
Yeah.
Makes me feel really good, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I follow Big Sister.
Okay.
I'm like stony, but very like uppity kind of posture.
Mm-hmm.
Whiskey
It's
Rivers
not
is...
high.
Oh, sorry. Whiskey Rivers is near the town center, right?
It's in the town square. Yeah.
Great. Then we'll pick up the horse and make our way to Whiskey River, I think.
Okay. Yeah, you do so. So you make your way back into the center of town, which now is pretty clear for the most part. It seems at least a significant proportion of the town had sort of gathered outside the church as you made your way back there. But you make your way back to the center of town. I'm assuming you hitched your horses to the outside of Whiskey Rivers where you had before. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So there you see them. We're still kind of trotting around.
I'll sort of like whistle them over.
The baby is just sort of dangling from his tail as he makes his
No,
way.
no. I like unlatch him. What are you doing?
I agreed. That was pretty clear what he was about.
Oh, okay. Put him in my shirt.
And you make your way back into the tavern, which is empty at this point, except for your dear friend Henry Jenkins, still behind the bar, spit shining some mugs.
Master Jenkins, I do hope we're not going to impede the rest of your business if we rest a while.
And he's sort of like, he seems a little stunned, shaken out of, after so long working at this tavern, the chore of polishing glasses has probably just become sort of checkout second nature to him. And so as you walk back in and arrest him from his dozing, he looks up at all of you and, well, luminaries balls. I didn't think I'd take you back so soon. You all feeling all right?
Rarely better.
And you decided to come back to Treybin then, is it?
At the borderline request of the father himself, looking into the business of poor Mayor Paisley to see what he's been up to.
Yeah, well, disappearing and all that, it's terrible times here in the city.
Can I ask, Master Jenkins, how it was that the mayor was discovered to be missing if he's been sheltering in his home for so long?
Oh, well, that's a fine question, I suppose. All I can say is that last night, Father asked everyone into the town square and made a pronouncement that he'd been to the mayor's chambers for their weekly visit to talk politics, matters of the town and all that, and he wasn't there, and neither was his sort of helper, his dwarven attendant. And in fact, that his house had been turned to cinders. There had been some sort of struggle.
Most worrisome.
Well, most of us in the town thought so too, and he sort of, Jenkins looks at you all.
You should say it, yes.
Well, he didn't outright say, but he did mention that the last ones to see the mayor had been, well...
He's very good at saying things without saying them, yes.
Oh, there's a special talent for that, that's to be sure. So, why have you all come back then?
Well, your little blight problem's been solved, and we did sort of wonder what your fate would be now.
Oh, well, I mean, if the plague is past, as you say, then I imagine things in Treybin shall improve markedly. Y'all did this?
We certainly helped. We helped make some things right for some people who, well, I can be vague about it all I like, but yes.
Well, I've been alive too long. Oh, hell. Can I get you all something to eat?
I'd be endlessly grateful to
Sure.
you, sir.
Have a seat then. I'll bring you out something on the house.
would die for you.
Well, he's gonna die for us, unfortunately.
No! He's
We had the
been...
mistake of being nice to some foreigners.
No.
Rough.
Buddy.
So you all take your customary seats, and he again brings out the big pot, scoops you all a nice bowl of brown.
Yum.
So what are your plans now? Are you intending to stay again?
I suppose we should probably investigate the mayor's house.
Indeed. We do not mean to put you in any difficult situations, Master Jenkins.
Well, my own persons is not the one I'm concerned about, you see.
No, indeed. But even if on our behalf, but if that's not the way of things, then I shall not trouble myself over your head.
Well, you're welcome to stay if you do indeed intend to stay. The rooms are still available for you. Not many travelers coming through these days.
Well, if you let us be some paying customers, we can be that for you.
What kind of proprietary owner would I be if I wouldn't?
Very good, then. Rooms at least for tonight, and then from tomorrow we'll see.
Very well then. Well, enjoy your bowl of brown. You need anything a little bit stronger, I'll just be over yonder.
Very kind, sir. Thank you.
He makes his way back to the bar.
You didn't kill the mayor, correct? I just want to check. Oh yeah,
We
you're
saw
right.
him.
You're right. Okay.
Sorry, is that brown too strong for you?
Oh, it's been a rough couple
We
of days.
literally saw him.
But
Mayor's home first, I suppose.
a few possibilities come to mind.
The church being one of them, I hope.
No, why would you think that?
Yeah, sure. Just how you want to get in there.
You're sneaky, I'm sneaky.
This one can fly.
Although I won't recall me hitting the window last time.
You just got too wrapped up in the flying business
Yeah.
and all.
So what's the plan?
They asked us to investigate. I mean, will they start? Will they try to stop us?
I tried to figure that out, but this guy's just unreadable.
Yeah, no, he didn't ask us to investigate at all. We're doing it of our own volition.
Well, that did kind of put him into a little bit of a twist there, though, because if we offered to help and he said no, then what does that make him
He
look
absolutely
like?
asked us to investigate.
No, he didn't.
Not in his words.
You didn't want to.
I offered first. and then-
That's what I'm saying. He's being shitty about it.
He spun it, but it was not. The vibe at least that I got was that that's not what he wanted.
Oh no, he doesn't want us to, but yeah.
He's still allowing it to happen to
Yeah.
save face.
That's yeah.
Sure.
In some licit sense, we have an argument to make that we are investigating.
More than certainly. We have a completely licit sense. It's just a matter of he has now decided that this is more to his advantage to allow us to do this, which means some of the plan going forward may hinge upon our doing this. His plan
His
going
plan.
forward.
Which means he's set some shit up.
Or might be currently setting some shit up, yes.
So we should.
Let's eat real quick.
Yeah, we should probably not dawdle then. So, mayor's house first or church first?
Well, I think the mayor's house first.
Right.
How will we find it?
I've forgotten everything.
I don't remember what it looks like.
No.
Eat quick,
Should we
little one.
start with the shortest building in town and work our way
Yes,
up?
yeah,
Oh,
that's Mama always said, you start with the
Process of
shortest building in
elimination.
town, and everything that's not that is not the one you want.
Yeah, weirdly, Rhea said that to me before too, and it was like wasn't even relevant.
No, she loves talking about
She
houses.
loves that saying.
She really does. Big fan.
Several
Of
times.
it. Don't even know where she's from.
Anyway, we finished our meal.
Yeah.
You do so.
Yeah.
Anything else I can get you?
Just be safe.
Now that's funny. I was going to say the very same to you.
Far less likelihood of that, I'm afraid.
I'm
but thank you all
sorry
the
to
same.
disappoint you.
That's what I just said.
I suppose danger is your trade, just as whiskey and bowls of brown is mine.
Oh,
Never
Henry
stop being
Jenkins, I love
charming,
you.
Out loud, I would die for this man. I would.
Well, I'd rather you didn't, but I share the sentiment, yes.
Oh, if I may impose on the subject, I'd rather you wouldn't neither. That'd be a terrible waste.
That's very kind of you. I'm not going to,
Most excellent.
but all the same.
Most excellent.
Let's go.
Let's go.
So you're going to the mayor's house.
Yeah.
Uh huh.
It's still like 1 in the afternoon.
Yep. Business hours.
What else
Okay.
are we gonna do? Yeah,
This
business
is,
hours.
this is all the more appropriate.
Okay.
I can't wait to find the 12 goons he stashed inside, ready to murder him.
Strangle him to death.
Well,
Okay.
the day is young. It's only
You
one.
make your way back outside to the square. Pretty empty. Seems like most people want to be home right now. You make your way across the town square to the mayor's house, outside of which 1 guard is stationed. 1 individual wearing that heavy plate armor with the burning rose emblazoned on it. And they just watch you approach as you make your way across. And as you approach closer and closer, they throw up a hand almost lazily. I've been instructed to stop any from coming to this site. It is an active crime scene after all.
Right, we're the ones investigating the crime.
I had heard as much.
Oh, I'm sorry. You all sort of blend together when you wear that.
This is Mr. Finger.
She does
You
not
jest,
laugh out loud.
but it is an honor of the highest order to be taken as the flesh and blood of the luminary, and I take pride in it.
And well, you should. We'd like to go inside.
Far be from me. And they immediately just leave.
Have a lovely one.
They say nothing.
The one campaign to not be playing a sarcastic asshole.
You really missed out, buddy.
Oh, how did Safaza finger you? Tell me.
Yeah, we all look up.
Rick?
I'll kill you.
We all there's 2 fluids inside all of us right now, and those are piss and vinegar. So
I'm having a great time.
yeah.
Yeah, token resistance. They leave immediately. You stand before the mayor's house.
I'll knock.
You go to knock. And
Check.
Dude, you didn't leave it a
It's
chance.
too late.
Alright.
No, it's fine. The door despoiled.
You sound different.
You see what you've done to him?
I've made him English. I
It's
don't
awful.
you make your way up, but as soon as you do 1 rap upon the door, it collapses off its hinges and falls to
What
the
did
floor.
they do to this guy?
Of
They took the door off his house.
Have I been knocking wrong?
No,
Yes.
no, that's not supposed to happen.
Yeah, its hinges are off. It just falls away from you, clanking onto the dusty
Yep.
floor of the house.
Can I get anything from like any like tracks leading inside, like about how many people came in?
You're looking at the dirt outside the home.
Yeah, or like did any of it get tracked inside? Like I imagine there's like Treybin dust around.
Are you glancing or taking time to look?
I'll take time to look. I'll actually like throw up a hand and be like,
Okay.
hold on.
Investigation.
18?
Great. So you can't. There's been too much activity throughout the day to tell. Footprints outside are no avail to you. There's been too much activity throughout the day, passing in front of the building. You look at the hinges, or at least where the hinges were attached previously, and the door frame looks torn. You can tell the door was violently taken off of its hinges. And investigating deeper into the first... You weren't here yesterday. You two saw it yesterday.
2 days ago.
Yes. 2 days. Oh, God. Time's not real.
Right.
You guys saw this place 2 days ago. And it was dusty. And in some state of disrepair. Just not generally cared after. Now, I mean... The tables have been turned over. The glassware has been broken. The windows have been shattered. It looks like there was something of a tussle in here. It's hard to say. The amount of damage looks like it could not have been done by like a struggling pair, at least not easily. Does that make sense?
Mm-hmm.
This is a setup.
Yes, it
Yes.
looks as it... Are there any sparrow feathers around?
Nice.
Give me another perception or investigation.
Oh, which one of those is better? And I know which one. Oh, not that good. 13?
There's just too much debris. You look but you can't find anything.
Can I specifically keep an eye out then as we're going for sparrow feathers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because he's a weresparrow. And if he
He turned into
if he
it.
turned into a bird to get away, then we have some options.
I'm going to hum 2 notes to myself briefly and cast Detect Magic. And so, in a 30-foot radius of myself, sensing any magic going on and walking through the first floor of the house here.
Okay, great. Did you do that the last time you were here? No, you did it in the church.
Correct. I did not do that here.
Kashek did that the last time, right? You did something to you were pretending that you were like, oh, I'm gonna get rid of your stutter, and you were like trying to see if there's some kind of magical thing upon him.
No,
tried to
he
dispel
asked
magic.
about it. I don't think he actually did.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Because I know I didn't cast anything last time because I didn't want to freak him out. Because he was already on a fucking
Yeah.
knife's edge explosion.
I don't think I have detect magic as a druid.
So detect
Yeah, I think you were
magic
trying to
does
dispel or
not go
something.
through walls.
Oh yes, I do.
It's like a certain thickness.
Yeah, it's blocked by 3 feet of wood. But I'll walk through the first floor of the house.
You find nothing on this first floor.
Then I'll begin to mount the stairs.
All of you making your way up the
I'll
stairs.
follow you.
I'm still looking for anything sparrow related.
Yeah, so you make your way up the stairs, the two of you familiar with by this point. Hager showed you up the stairs last time. You come to the second floor, which is sort of the mayor's offices. And again, the last time you were here, it was mostly just sort of dusty shelves, which maybe once were filled with baubles and books, but had since been emptied. And again, the signs of an enormous scuffle are apparent as you enter into sort of his office chamber. And detecting magic.
I do have 10 minutes on this, so
Yeah.
it's lasting a while.
You get a faint sort of aura emanating from behind the westward wall of illusion magic.
In the study?
Mm-hmm.
Stay close.
It's just sort of one section, like sort of almost like a door-shaped kind of impression on the westward wall of illusion
Illusion
magic.
magic.
Yeah.
I'm going to come up close, pull out a flute, a little whistle,
Okay.
and like try and poke it through the illusory space, if I can.
So you press it against the wall. And if you weren't looking for it, you would probably just think, oh yeah, it presses right up against the wall. But since you're focusing, you'll notice it passes just like a 1/16 of an inch past the wood of the grain of the wall before hitting something solid.
I'm going to try and place my hand down through.
You do so. You sort of extend a hand. As you expect them to meet the wood of the wall, they sort of phase through the wood grain, and sort of shimmers go off across the sort of section of wall that you're approaching, and you can feel the cold metal of a doorknob on the other side.
I will turn it if I can.
It is locked.
We've got a door pretending to be a wall,
Oh.
but I think it's a bit locked. So, if you wouldn't mind,
I sure could try. Can I? Well,
You're gonna try
can I
to
try
pick the
to
lock.
pick it?
yeah, I'm gonna try and help point it out to her. I think as
Yeah.
I
Okay.
could like
If
take
I
her
could, like,
hand and just
feel and
So then give me.
It's tough.
So that's like thieves' tools, yes.
yeah.
So give me the dex check at disadvantage because you can't see the lock.
So that's still 24.
Oh yeah. Yes. So even though you can't observe the apparatus of the lock,
Just fucking
nimbly
good,
and
baby.
expertly your fingers fly and your tools across the lock, and just after a moment you hear a satisfying as it unlatches.
that was really cool.
And as the door swings backwards a little inwards towards the hidden chamber, the illusion breaks, and you stand before a rich mahogany door.
That broke the illusion.
Yeah.
Unless it's been 10 minutes, I still detect magic up. Just not letting that down just yet.
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna try and open the door.
I'm right behind him.
Yeah, you do so. It swings forward easily. You make your way inside.
Yeah.
You make your way inside. It's just a short hallway, revealing on the other side a small but cozy chamber with a small bed, just sort of, it's like a whole house compressed into one tiny little space. There's like a chamber pot in the corner, a small bed, a tiny bookshelf with a couple of volumes stacked up in it. And as you make your way inside, you hear a soft, muffled scream of surprise. And as you make your way in, crouched on the bed, sort of looking like she's trying to climb up the back wall, is Hager, the dwarven attendant of the mayor.
It's all right. It's all right. We're friends.
I remember you.
Better get the door behind us, friends.
I close the door behind us.
You came to see the mayor 2 days ago.
We did, yes.
He told me of you. He went to help you to atone for his sins.
And you did help us. Do you know what's happened to him since?
His father, his men came, they took him.
I had an unfortunate feeling they might have done this.
They stormed the house in the dead of night, and they took him. He told me to hide here, and he would remain behind. He sacrificed himself.
Do you have any idea where they might have taken him?
I can't say for sure, but it was the father's men.
The
If
church
you wanted
did.
to hide him, they may have brought him to the church.
You should stay safely hidden here. We might need your proof.
Were there other rooms downstairs?
No, it was just sort of a one sort of entrance place.
Do we know for a fact that this is the mayor's residence, or is it just the mayor's office?
I guess you can't say 100% for sure. There's 3 floors, which you haven't been up to yet.
Oh, okay.
You've only ever been to... So the first seems to be like entryway, second seems to be offices. You haven't been above. You can't say for sure. I mean, Father Cochran referred to this place as his residence, so...
Was she asleep?
No.
Okay. Yeah, okay. I thought there was like a scandal going on here. That I was a little confused for a second. I was like, okay. I was like, damn, okay.
You should remain here and stay hidden. We might need you.
What
To
do you
speak.
intend to do?
We have been tasked by the father to investigate the mayor's disappearance.
It is a fool's errand. He intends you nothing but harm if you oppose him.
Oh, indeed.
You should make your way out of this cursed city, as I intended to do this night.
I would maybe hold off on that at least until tomorrow evening. They may be on high alert tonight with us being back, is all. We may have made things more dangerous just for tonight only.
I see your wisdom.
Unless you have a way, you can leave.
Just
Unseen.
intended to wait until the cover of darkness.
I would wait here.
We are staying at Whiskey Rivers. That may be a safe place for you, if you wish not to be here.
Well, this room was built by the mayor for just such an occasion, a safe room, in case Father Cochran ever turned violent.
Did you place the illusion on the door? What did the mayor?
The mayor. He knows much of the natural magics of the world.
They're not a weresparrow at all.
That makes my heart feel a little better.
Well, I mean, we know it was to be taught.
Yeah.
Right.
So.
Oh, right, okay. Can you tell us anything about
Danica.
when there are people in the church worshipping and when it might be clearer to go inside?
Father Cochran holds 3 masses through the day, morning, noon, and night. After that, it is mostly clear except for him and his disciples. Though he does not stay in the church overnight, there are his guards, but he takes his own residence across town. He won't be there in the evening if you intend to go.
When is the night mass?
It takes place at sunset and lasts until the sun sinks behind the horizon.
Of course.
Plenty of tonight, then. Thank you, Hager. We intend to help the mayor.
He is a good man. He was cast against impossible odds. No one could have done better in his position. Please do not think him weak.
We do not blame him.
Not at all.
He is strong. He came to us to have us do what we could for the girl.
I know. And the father knew. And that is why he is in peril now.
We are not blameless of that either. And so we owe the mayor everything we can do to gain his safety.
Go then. This is my blessing. Good luck to you.
Thank you for your assistance. Stay safe, please.
I will remain hidden here.
The wisdom.
Is it better for us to remain visible during this time, or stay put?
Do you know, I don't know. I don't know if it makes an incredible amount of difference either way.
I think if he thinks he has eyes on us, he feels safe.
There's wisdom there. Let us leave this place for now then. Time to go.
You do so. So you leave back out into the town square.
Yeah, if there's any way to lock the door. I mean,
Yeah, oops.
I'm trying to.
Yeah, so as you leave the safe room and close the door behind you, the illusion again sort of shimmers back into existence.
Great,
good.
so great, cool,
Okay,
neat, great,
cool.
good. Love
Good.
that.
Whew, felt real bad for a second there. Woo!
Didn't blow her cover.
Alright, cool.
Yeah, you can hear the sort of of a lock behind you as you go, and the illusion shimmers back into place. So you head back out into the town square.
I'm gonna go upstairs.
Okay.
If I can visibly see a staircase.
There is, yeah. So as you come back out of the offices, there's sort of a hallway and a stairway going down, back to the first floor, and then another going back up. You do so, you emerge just into a humble sort of bedchamber with maybe once a well-furbished four-poster bed, but now the curtains seem moth-eaten. There is a bookcase. Notably, however, in this one, there are a few select volumes and a couple of, little trinkets and trophies. Very few. But maybe the last remnants that he was able to hold on to up here in his private chambers.
Can I investigate?
Yes, what are you looking for?
Kashek is never looking for anything.
Okay.
He is an inquisitive lad.
Mm-hmm.
May I?
Yes, please.
19.
So you're investigating sort of the bookshelf?
The whole room. Anything that would pique his interest.
Mm-hmm.
Which, great.
Great.
He's not super accustomed to the accoutrements of civil society, but...
So there's a couple of books. One entitled Before Himbo, The Legends of the Plains and the Elven Kingdoms that Dwelt Therein. Another, Goodberry, a berry composite list of edible fruits and vegetables.
Oh yeah. This poor guy got kidnapped, and you're stealing from him.
Borrowing.
Get it back to him.
I think saving his life might
Okay,
count as
yeah.
recompense.
Yeah.
There's a couple baubles. What looks to be an old telescope, which the lens of which is cracked.
Is it shiny?
It is.
I'm not there.
Did you guys follow me up?
No.
No.
That was me.
See, he can justify borrowing a book. If he takes the telescope, he's stealing. Because you can read a book and be done with it. He will leave the telescope, much as he's fixated on the glass.
Magpie!
But the thing that really draws your eye is this sort of glass dome, sort of like where the beast keeps the rose.
Oh,
You know?
like a
Bell jar.
cloche.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you.
Mhm.
Inside of which seems to be like a little terrarium. And you can see maybe like a third of the way up is just packed with dirt. And you can see worms and ants making their way through the soil. On the surface of that dirt, there's some really lush green grass. And the glass is sort of like, there's condensation all over the side of the glass. And then sort of growing up out of the soil and grass is this beautiful orange mushroom with like the perfect fan of gills underneath and a lovely sloping bell.
Can I try to identify it? If I can.
Sure, give me an nature check.
Not as good as those that you think. 10.
You're not quite sure. It reminds you of being in the fairy tale world.
I'm sure I haven't seen a lot of mushrooms, though, to be fair.
Yeah. It reminds you of being in the fairy tale world. It's like a heightened version of mushrooms you've seen before.
Well,
Would I be
relevantly-
able to speak with this plant?
You can try.
I'm going to try to speak with this mushroom.
Okay, let me read Speak with Plants.
Uh-huh.
Loading. You imbue plants within 30 feet of you with limited sentience and animation, giving them the ability to communicate with you and follow your simple commands. You can question plants about events in the spell's area within the past day, gaining information about creatures that have passed, weather, and other circumstances.
Past day?
Yep.
Did you hear anything yesterday?
Blah! What's that?
Keep it together, Shaq. Keep it together, Shaq.
Strong for Mother Clarence.
I've only talked to cacti before. They're usually way chiller about this.
If you guys don't stop, he's gonna never talk as the mushroom again. and I can't
Hello?
have that.
What am I saying? What are you saying? What am I saying? What's happening?
Hello.
Regret.
No!
How long do I have?
10 minutes.
Oh, fuck yeah!
You've got at least 2 minutes to compose yourself.
Were you aware of anything transpiring in the past few hours?
What's an hour?
Can I ask him in vibe?
Yes.
I can feel little buggies on my bottom.
Bit farther out.
I mean, in his defense. Yeah. Yeah, alright. Yeah, alright.
There was a great ruckus. There was a nice man who tended to me. He made my gills go strong and my spores spread healthily.
This mushroom better be fucking wiggling while it says this.
Stop interrupting the mushroom.
But there was a ruckus. Below? But below the buggies. Is there below buggies?
Let's assume for argument's sake that there is.
In vibe.
Aarakocra don't live forever.
How big of a ruckus?
Trying to gauge how many people it took.
Clanging. Clanging of something that doesn't occur in the natural order. And the nice man did not come back.
What about afterwards?
It's been quiet. There was a nice woman. But she feels far away now.
What was the weather like?
Oh, the weather. I can fucking tell you weather.
Before I can answer sleep.
Ants like lines, but worms like to dance.
It's true.
Wow.
You have much wisdom, my friend.
Yeah, he's been there for like 5.5 minutes. I don't know.
You guys are saying that?
Yeah. Like, should one of us go get him?
No, he's
I
probably...
think
I end the spell.
He's talking to somebody.
The mushroom.
Yes.
Oh my god, okay.
I will go back downstairs.
You do so to find your friend. You all see Kashek again coming back down to the sort of second floor. The mayor's offices.
Find anything?
Yes, I found a book.
And you're taking it. Good for you.
I have been made aware of a concept known as borrowing.
Mm-hmm.
Which one did you take? Did you take
Good
Good Berry? A very comprehensive list of,
Oh yeah.
of edible plants?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Well,
I shall return it to him when we discover where he is being held.
no
Oh,
judgment
yeah.
here, my friend.
I borrowed a bunch of my mom's jewelry when I left.
I borrowed from all kinds of people over the years.
Oh,
I
you're
want to
talking-
steal.
Oh, you're talking about stealing. All right.
I'm borrowing. If I ever see my mother again, I'll give it back to her.
Lord in heaven.
Yeah, it's just sort of.
All right, fantastic. You stand in the emptied mayor's chambers.
I think we should probably go.
The time is yours.
Let's go.
Go.
So now you leave, heading back out.
Yes.
Okay. So as you go back out, you don't see Father Cochrane, but you do see those 9 guards arrayed again.
Mm-hmm.
Just arrayed in front of the room as you walk outside. The one who
In
was
front of the house?
who has addressed you a number of times now. Found anything?
Signs of a great struggle.
A wonderful book.
Kashak, that was yours already, right?
You accidentally left it behind?
No, I found it in the bookcase.
You're right, you're right.
All right.
He's a good boy.
So the guards looked tense. Now they don't.
Wow, I forgot. Being an idiot works.
Well, we combed the place, saw the signs of struggle, but seems you got the investigation well in hand.
Indeed.
We'll leave you about it then. And they leave.
Have a pleasant one.
Or don't.
Oh, Luminary's light be upon you.
Have they left?
Yes, they march back down the road.
Sounds like there is something in there they did not want us to find.
I think it was the signs that they were the ones who caused the struggle in the first place, Kashak.
Well, no, we know that.
Oh.
Must say that was pretty well done there, Kashak.
I have my moments.
Quite disarmed them.
Do you think there was something that we were missing?
There could be. We could revisit. It does not have to be right now.
The day is quite long and we are not needing anywhere until well after sunset. Although I think Surrie is right, at least some of us should be seen about the place. So I'm going to go on a pleasant stroll about town. If anyone wants to join me, you're welcome to do so. Otherwise, about your business.
I'll come with.
Great. Shall we all meet back up at dinner time, perhaps? At Whiskey Rivers. Unless you want to be sooner than that. We'll agree to be back there by then.
Sounds good. Thank you.
Seren, I'll hold up my arm.
Oh, could we maybe loop by where we've got the horses hitched? It might be nice to let the little one
It's
stretch
right
his
over there.
legs. Right.
Still hold up my arm.
I take it awkwardly.
So you two are just walking around town.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, looking as if looking busy.
Okay. Anything you guys would like to do? Because I guess if you're waiting until like after dark to go try to investigate the church.
They've left.
They did. Yeah.
I'm going to open the book
Uh-huh.
and start pacing.
Okay.
Outside the house?
Yeah. For a while.
Mm.
And then I will meander my way around the house, continuing to ostensibly read.
Mm-hmm.
Can I make an investigation check while I'm doing that?
Sure, what are you looking for?
Anything of interest. Anything specifically at the windows.
Sure, give me an investigation check.
Or anything that stands out from the sand dirt that I imagine this place
Yeah,
has.
it's just like it's like that. It's like it used to be grass, but too many people walked across it. So yes, give me an investigation check. Do another
17. No is a perfectly acceptable answer.
CERN.
one. Yeah, around the outsides of the building.
That's information in and of itself.
Yep. Okay.
Can I read any of the book while I'm doing that?
Yeah. It is a very comprehensive list of edible plants.
Do I learn anything that I didn't already know from it?
lots, I would imagine. If you're more familiar with desert,
I was going to say,
flora.
is it specifically tailored to?
Mm-hmm.
Does the desert fall under the the Confederation? Depends on who you ask.
Like in name only?
Sinai, also called the camp, which you would be very familiar with, is the edge of the Republic.
So plenty of the desert exists outside of it.
Correct.
Okay. So,
Nobody really lays claim to the Nehekaran
To a
desert.
desert.
Yeah.
It's just too big and too deadly
Sure.
for anyone to lay claim over.
Sure.
But Sinai, you would be familiar with, is sort of the extreme edge of the Republic, yes.
So closer to where the desert meets the
The savannah, yeah.
duchy proper.
Yeah. As you go south, this is kind of on the map. I tried to illustrate it on the map. There's sort of like a savanna area.
Yeah.
The Gower Plains kind of turn into a savanna, which turns into desert.
Okay.
As we walk, I'm gonna scoop little guy out of his wherever he's hanging out in the saddle. Stretch your legs. Don't go too far from me, please.
He makes like a starfish shape and just throws them out in all directions.
Very good listening skills. I meant a little bit more metaphorically.
He starts to walk in midair.
I don't know that metaphor is a strong grasp of the baby owlbear. No offense. I think he understands common.
Do you understand common? Is that yes and one for yes, two for no? Maybe I should have made it two for yes, one for
Probably
no.
that. Probably that. That's usually what people do when they do that sort of thing, but that's okay.
Okay. Come and walk with us, but don't go too far from me. Put him
Starts
down.
walking, like when you hold a dog over a swimming pool, he kind of is just like walking in midair until you set him down, and then he just starts trundling along as you make your way through town.
He's going to be an Oris one day.
Yeah. Shall we?
Sure. As we're walking, you went a bit funny the other day when we were dealing with the cows for the first time.
My apologies. I didn't mean to put any undue stress on the rest of you. It was hard work picking up my slack, I imagine.
You also wouldn't go to sleep, which is pretty rude of you, to be honest. I know I did the spell right.
Well, to be fair, I'm told that people of my ilk, it's hard entrancing our minds to do such sort of things.
Oh, that might have something to do with the alleged Fey lineage way back and such. That makes sense, I suppose. Heat of the moment and all that.
It was a good idea.
We do the best we can with what we have. You alright?
Will be, yeah.
When?
As soon as I can.
Fair enough. I'd say I don't mean to pry, but I do. You understand.
I made a mistake. And, the, hallucinogenics around were, keen to remind me of some of the circumstances leading up to it.
Dad told me a bit of what happened. I'm sure that was a tough day. And every day since. Especially seeing him get to come back. And not the other.
No, I'm glad he came back.
I am too. But I know there was a choice involved.
It wasn't my choice to make. That made it all the easier.
Again, I'd hope I'm not being too forward, but I know that I am. You'll have to come to terms with something of that, you know.
I will. As soon as I can.
No rush. I know what it is. Well, not exactly, of course. No one can ever know exactly. Yeah. Everyone's had their losses, haven't they?
I don't really get to rush these things. My
No.
perception of time is a bit different than most other people's. I suspect this is going to be the first in a very, very, very long string of them.
Not easy.
If it gives you any comfort, I'll have a lot of practice.
Very few things give me comfort, dear Seren. But one person you get to live with all that time is yourself. Maybe another one or two if you're lucky, but that's when you're going to have to like the best. Or at least the most consistently. If you take my meaning.
He was teaching me how. I'm just gonna walk a couple extra steps.
The baby has wrapped his considerably longer front arms around his back paws and is cartwheeling along those. His feathers covered with dust.
Oh, good. He needed a bath.
Do you know, I could just start my own show just with him. That's... People would pay gold to see that.
Please don't.
I couldn't. He's obviously your charge, but my goodness. The money you could make.
I don't care about that.
Well, who does, but still. It's hilarious. Look at him, the wee little fuck.
He's learning. He's learning.
No, keep him close.
He cartwheels into the side of a building.
Oh,
Oops,
come back.
shit.
I'm not sure how many brains you've got in there. You need to keep them all together. I'm gonna pick him up and ride him.
As you pick him off, he sort of shakes his little head and gives a little owlbear sneeze. And then with a puff, as he sneezes, a puff of dust comes off of his feathers. And then he just kind of snuggles into you.
Well, now you're going to need a proper bath.
I'll hum a note and wave my hand and prestidigitate him clean.
All the dust, as if in a shroud, just puffs off of him and falls to the street around you.
Thank you.
It beats a bat. Feathers smell terrible when they get wet. Costumes.
What kind of looks are we getting as we walk?
All of them.
Oh, yeah. The streets are actually way more empty than when you first arrived in town. There's scattered few villagers about who now, at this point, are trying very hard not to look at you.
They gotta sharpen their pitchforks. It's a busy day.
Yeah.
Just kind of humming to myself as we're walking. I sense the conversation is done.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else I want to do while we're kind of making a circuit.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
Just look as unthreatening as possible.
Yeah, occasionally pause and look closely at a sign, or maybe peer down an alleyway.
And there's lots of little alleyways between side streets and stuff, but all of them pretty basic, pretty unassuming.
All the better to look like I'm busy looking down.
Sure. So you guys are kind of trying to get the impression that you are investigating still.
Yeah, you can make an act of it.
All right. Okay, give me a deception check.
Oh, okay.
One of you can give it to me at advantage, since you're both taking part.
It should probably be you. Oh, that should absolutely be you.
All right, you have the negative modifier charisma, is that right?
Yep.
Am I doing it?
You're doing it at advantage. Oh, right.
Hello, that's okay.
I'm sorry.
That's oh my.
That's all right. I don't have expertise or even proficiency in that one, but it is still a healthy 23.
Okay, yeah, you continue about your way.
Bard.
Sorry, anything while this time is passing?
So you said that all around the mayor's house, any sort of path to or from it would have been trampled down by other
There's just been a lot of people through here. Yeah, through today, I guess.
Does it seem... This is stupid. Does it seem deliberate?
Because last night was the gathering, right?
Okay, so
Where we were going.
time is tricky here. Yes, last night is the night that you spent in the Gloomfield.
Yes.
Or outside of the
Right.
Gloomfield, at least, yes. So yes, last night is when he called everybody together.
That was around the pulpit in the center of town, though, right?
Correct, yes. So, yeah, there's been a lot of people through here since then.
By the mayor's house, though? As well, you said that, yeah.
What you want to
I
do?
hate you. But you know that means I love you. Tentative retroactive vibe check.
Okay.
So you said the guards looked tense when we came out, and then they untensed when we were being dumb.
When Kashek showed them the book, yes.
Sure. Did it seem like there was maybe something? They were like worried we found something, and then we're relieved that we didn't find that thing.
Insight check.
Okay. 8.
You can't be sure. I think. Yeah, they're just all like something's certainly up with the father and his disciples, but you're not sure.
Is there anybody around?
Less people than you've seen before, but there's still the occasional one that makes their way through the town square.
Can I go somewhere I can't be seen?
Sure, you can duck into an alleyway if you want to give me a stealth check.
Yes. Come on. 26.
Okay, great. Yeah, you duck into an alleyway between more of the two sort of unassuming buildings surrounding the town square. Yeah, you feel reasonably confident that you've ducked away.
I'm gonna go invisible.
Okay.
I'm gonna go towards the church.
Okay, you do so.
Tail tucked real close.
You're invisible.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Yeah, you make your way back down the southern road towards the church. There are still the guards standing outside, but Father Cochran and the priests are not standing on the steps anymore.
Okay. I just kind of want to observe the going-ons here for a little bit.
Okay. Sitting outside the church. Give me another stealth check.
Natural 20 for 33.
Okay. You watch for how long would you say?
We were gonna meet up at dinner time. What time is it right now?
1, 2 in the afternoon?
Let's call it 45 minutes.
Okay. 45 minutes. So you so if all this is happening simultaneously, you kind of tail the guards that were standing outside the mayor's house back. Or at least you can catch up to them and see them sort of take their places outside. You do see the one who addressed you all make his way inside the church for roughly 30 minutes. And then come back out and take his place amongst the ranks standing outside.
But he doesn't like replace anyone. Nobody goes like off duty.
All
when he
9
comes
of
out.
them are still just standing there. What?
That's never something you want to hear come from your DM. Huh?
This is gonna be good.
That's all.
Okay, great. So, you've all been about your business.
After 6.
Time passes. Night begins to set. You hear the ringing of the church bells signaling the evening mass. What would you all like to do?
Yeah, in the last 15 minutes of my invisibility, I'll go back to my secret spot and uninvisible, and then go back to the Whiskey Rivers.
Okay. You do so.
If we go into Whiskey Rivers right now, will Henry Jenkins be there?
He's always been there before.
What the fuck else would he be?
Well, I don't know if he's a church-going man.
If you go back inside Whiskey Rivers, you do in fact see him, yes, behind the bar.
Hello, Master Jenkins.
Oh, hello there. Productive day, I hope.
Actually, we didn't find much.
Ah, well. Alright, puzzling shame out of you.
However, certainly built up an appetite. Besides,
Well, now that I can attend to. Have a seat.
I'd hope that be the case.
I'm gonna
Not
brew
so
you up a special brown tonight.
Well,
I've been working on a new recipe. Mm-hmm.
a new recipe.
Well, you know. Chill. What?
When Freddy's the one that's suspicious, that
Yeah.
Oh, my gosh, that was first one this century.
Well, we've had all these strange fungus and mushrooms about. I thought I might make a bit of a stew out of it.
Okay.
Wonderful. Looking forward to it.
Luckily, I can't be poisoned, but
tried it myself. There's a bit of a bite to it, but I think it's pretty good.
I don't mind a bite or two.
He brings his pot out again, as he has before. It looks exactly the same as it ever has. It's just mushrooms this time instead of whatever it was before.
Great.
Oh boy.
Good.
Hope you like mushrooms.
This time I don't let the baby eat any.
He sniffs at it. But
I cautiously dip a finger in and investigate and see if I can tell straight away if it's poisoned.
nature or investigation?
14.
No, you don't think so. Smells quite good, actually.
I think this might be alright, but you might want to let me have the first
I'm
one.
gonna start eating.
Okay.
Have at it.
Yeah,
You
okay.
do so. It tastes exactly the same, just a little chewier.
I'm not sure how I feel about eating this, seeing as what I know what it looks like when it's angry.
Yeah, well, they're all dead now.
True.
Or
We
whatever.
did watch them deteriorate slowly on our way back into town.
Well, since you said you exorcised the demons, I figured it was safe for consumption.
Oh,
Would you like me to ask them if they're poisonous?
can you talk to them?
I don't know if it would be successful when we are in this state.
When have you talked to a mushroom?
I'll tell you when you're older.
She's older than all of us.
I'm very much older.
Relatively speaking,
Not enough.
Relatively speaking, I may actually be the oldest for my lifespan.
How old are you in terms of your lifespan?
I'm basically 40.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Sorry.
See, that's
Fucking 40!
that's the thing, man. That's it.
D&D's funny that way.
Oh yeah.
I very cautiously give the little guy a little bit also then.
He laughs at it, but he doesn't seem to like mushrooms very much.
Oh, right, that's fair. Well,
Does he like if they're meat?
Eater.
I give him then a little bit of whatever my rations are.
That he gulps down enthusiastically.
Because if bears are omnivores and owls are carnivores, well,
Oh, yeah.
then that means he's more carnivore than omnivore.
I've never seen him hack up pellets though.
Oh, he's clearly got the machinery of a bear.
Right.
Have you ever given him anything with bones and fur? All intact?
Gave him some pieces of possum that first night.
I don't know if he has a gizzard. Interesting.
Anyway, we're gonna go
Is that
investigate
turkey
matter.
Well, I'm eating.
I've got a question actually.
Yeah, hit me.
The one guard that went inside the church while I was watching, did he seem any more decorated or anything than any of the rest of them?
No, they are all
Right.
dressed exactly the same, but it has been the same one who has addressed you each time. Both
Ah.
first when you came to the church outside, standing outside.
Oh.
The tonsils.
That's Mel.
Well, it's a
Hey,
monkey.
Head, shoulders, knees, toes.
Tongue.
They call me tongue on account of once I bit my tongue.
Have we heard any of the other ones speak?
No.
Cool.
Oh shit.
Well, there's only one tongue.
All right.
They
Well,
call
the
me
time is yours.
Colonel.
The time is yours. What would you like to do?
Anyway, I'm gonna wait for sundown.
It comes as the sun sets. As outside the windows you look out, the sunlight disappears. You again hear the clanging of bells. Perhaps you can presume signaling the end of evening mass.
Oh, all right. I thought. Did you want to go to church?
Oh no, I didn't want to do that.
Okay, good. Good and great. Good.
Great and good.
Because it's too late now.
Huh?
It's too late now.
Well,
so-
yes.
Yeah.
Thank goodness.
Should we
Thank goodness.
should we pretend that we're going up to rest, or is there any point being sneaky about this part?
Oh, it's hardly bedtime.
We can hang out in our room and talk.
Do you think there's any reason that the father would have him in his personal space?
I thought about that,
Yeah, why not?
but I think with the father's little helpers being more at the church, better guarded.
Hagar was fairly insistent that that's where he would be.
Well, she made it plain with the information she would have
Yeah.
access to.
That's true.
We're the investigators here, not Hager.
Well, then let's start. That's true. Let's start at the church and then maybe go pay him a house
And then
call.
if we don't get slaughtered by a bunch of flaming rose,
The Order of the Flaming Rose. Yes.
or the flaming rose, then we'll make our way there.
Have you all notice that it's always the same one that speaks to us?
You know, I
It's
haven't
always the
noticed
same guy.
Yeah, I bet that's pussy.
Yeah, I bet that one's mouth.
Yeah, I didn't ask for his name, but
Christ on the cross.
Yeah, probably somewhere.
Rose in the bush.
I did.
And speaking of bush,
Anyway, so I noticed that, and then also he spent a bit of time inside the church when everybody else was just standing around outside.
I wonder if there's something that the father needs to do in order to keep his connection with them.
Very possible.
oh my thought would be he's the one who can report.
I thought it was anyone.
You can what?
Report
Well, if he's
back in, speaking to the father,
if he's mouth, then that would make sense.
Oh, yeah, okay.
the mouth breather.
That's funny.
So all the information from the ears and eyes goes to mouth, and then mouth goes to Cochrane?
Oh, I do not know. I don't know if he just. I don't know.
Yeah, that's the thing.
I'm not an
Don't
expert
know.
in this sort of chicanery.
How long
No,
do
no.
you think we need to wait before the father's cleared the premises?
Oh, let's give him till it's proper dark. I think. Yeah, an hour.
Sure.
Okay. So are you waiting down up in your rooms or down in the dining area? Maybe just enjoying a drink together until night, until the late hours come.
We want to be seen.
Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
The less suspicious, the better.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, after evening mass, a couple of people filter into the pub. Some sitting along the bar, a couple tables. But then, yeah, after an hour or two, they finish their drinks and make their way out.
Do the two chaps who were weird looking at us the first time we were here, do they appear? The guy who sat at the bar and then left
Investigation
suspiciously?
check.
Oh, shit.
Let's see if you remember their face.
Alright. Hooja! Maybe. Instigation check. That is.
That's all you've been doing all
No,
night.
only Dora
That's
can
an
make
18,
those.
yeah.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, you better believe. And they watch you for an hour or two. And then they leave.
Openly? Watching
Not
us?
openly, but
Okay.
every once in a while, a glance, a sidelong glance
Give him a
to
wink.
where you're sitting. Do you really?
Yeah.
He
What?
blushes and turns back to his bowl
You
of
really are
brown.
instigating.
If I see them looking at us, yeah.
I love
They snitched on us last time, motherfucker.
It might not
It's
have
their job.
Yeah, it might not have
you
been their
know,
fault.
Like,
No, they gave us up to daddy. I'm gonna go ahead and fuck 'em.
girl, with the language over here.
Yeah, I'm not sure I love how you phrased that.
That's like,
If the alternative is being burned at the
Daddy
stake,
Cochran.
if the alternative is being burned at the stake,
man.
wouldn't you?
This
Yeah,
is
what if-
devolving rapidly.
plenty of people in this town are not
We
known
had it out
as
for a while.
the phalanges or the sphincter of the gods. So I don't really know. There's plenty of options to not do.
You have no idea.
Okay,
I know where you slave.
they're watching you. You catch them watching. You give them a wink. They blush and turn back to their bowl of brown. After an hour or two, they filter out of the pub. You're
Turn back
left
to my
alone.
bullet.
I'm sorry for turning your game into a
I'm
den of
not.
sin.
So, are we gonna go upstairs and
Do the same thing we did
yeah,
last night.
or are we
or
just
the other
gonna
night
are
to
we just
leave?
gonna stroll out the door?
I think we go for a nice evening walk.
Yeah, why not?
I don't fully understand why we're being sneaky. And I just say that because, like, dude definitely knows what we're up to, much as we can fool the guards.
I think we have to make just as much effort to convince the townspeople that we are not up to anything nefarious because he's going to try to make us out to be that. And I think if he feels safe enough to go home at the end of the night, which I'm unsure if he will, then that's one less person to come and throw a fireball at us when the shit hits the fan.
So yeah, I think after when it's proper night and after those fuckers have
Yeah.
left, let's have a stroll.
A little
So, like,
promenade to digest.
Just after midnight.
Oh.
12:31.
Is it that
that
late?
late?
There was a fair amount of waiting there.
Well,
Yeah.
so evening mass goes till the sun goes down.
Yeah.
Which is
Oh,
like,
we're in the latter days of summer, right?
Yeah.
Okay,
So
alright.
it's like
That's
8
like
o'clock by the time the sun
9:30.
goes down.
So yeah, we'll say like 11, something like that.
Yeah,
Before
11,
midnight.
11:30, 11 midnight. Yeah,
Getting on towards
around
midnight.
there.
Sure,
around there,
sure.
towards the midnight hour. Yeah, you make your way back out onto the streets. Much like Philadelphia, it is completely devoid of life after hours.
Despite the fact
now-
there's people walking around.
Yeah.
God, there's trash everywhere.
Well,
I'm gonna
No intelligent
stow
life to be seen anywhere.
There are
gonna
dirt bikes.
stow little boy safely somewhere.
At Whiskey Rivers,
Sure, yeah.
you have room still.
Yeah. I'll put him down.
He does not love being left behind.
No.
I know you're upset, but we might go into somewhere dangerous, and until you get big enough that you can protect yourself.
When you mention danger, he kind of squares his little feet. His hackles go up.
Yeah.
And he like clicks his beak like he's ready to fight. His little claws come out.
It's going to be terrifying in a year.
Yeah. Look, when you're big enough that I'm not sure that I could accidentally step on you while we're fighting, you are welcome to come along. I don't want to leave you behind. I would rather have my eyes on you. But right now, I don't want you getting hurt.
He walks over to the wall of the room and he kind of pads his way up the wall of the room and pushes off and can't quite find his balance on just his back legs, and he plops back down. And then he pads his way over again, walks his way up the wall, and this time a little better. And he takes his little paws, but then he falls again. And he pads his way up again, and this time he kind of takes his little paws and makes the shape
Jesus Christ.
like he's trying to draw a little arrow back. But he can't quite keep his balance, and he just falls over onto his back.
Please stop what you're doing. She's like actually upset.
Oh, he looks at you with his big doleful eyes, and he sees that you're upset. And he just walks over and like a cat kind of rubs its back up against your leg.
Seren, if you would like, I would be able to speak with him.
Later.
I think he can understand.
Yeah, we don't
have time for this.
No.
I was gonna say, are we all here while this is
Oh, yeah.
happening? Like, do you need a minute alone? What's happening?
He seems quite
I'm
intelligent.
not just assuming that I'm there.
Kind of kneel down and put my forehead on his little, between his
And
eyes.
he presses his little head into your face.
There's a man that might be in danger. We need to go solve it. It's rather time sensitive. We can talk later.
He acquiesces and kind of goes limp in your arms.
Be safe. Just kind of leave him behind.
You do so. He kind of curls himself up on the bed as you go.
I'm sorry.
Just get you by the shoulder and just kind of walk with my arm around you if that's something you'll let happen.
Yeah, she just kind of lets anything happen right now.
Yeah.
You may go back out into the street. What would you like to do?
No, he's not here.
I think we can have ourselves a nice private service of mass.
I'd say quietly fine.
Do you think?
No, I was starting to say sure. I wasn't shushing you,
good.
I'm sorry.
Do you think that there's a back entrance?
Yeah, it's guarded by.
I wouldn't have been able to keep it in, but Robin snickered.
Trevor, I'm so sorry.
No, I wasn't even laughing for
Trevor,
a dirty
I'm so
reason.
sorry.
It's guarded by wagon.
I wasn't even laughing for a dirty reason. I was like, yeah, there probably is, but it's probably super hidden because I hate this guy so much. That's all. I wasn't.
Mr. Luminary, sir. Mr. Luminary, sir, is there a back door to the church that we've been able to see?
Well, okay, so you've been in before, and there's sort of the main hall. The sides of it are open to the air to let sunlight stream through, and sort of the practice is to position yourself such that the light streaming through the sort of like fenced walls appear on your forehead, and that's where you make your prayers.
Mm-hmm.
You also remember being in Father Cochrane's office because he invited you in there. The rear wall of the church has an enormous glass window which spills directly into his office to let the sunlight come through. You'll recall when you first saw him, he was sort of bathed from behind in light.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, stone
I
cold.
remember.
Yeah, hell yeah.
So, entrance, who can say for sure? But there is a big window to the back of the building.
Should we try back window first? Maybe there's a door.
Did it look like it opened?
No, not the window.
Oh.
If there might be a door back there at some point.
Okay.
Some windows will have that, like big window, but then there's like a little door, service entrance.
Sure.
Not to be pedantic, but is the moon out?
I've lost track of time. Yes.
Okay, I just look up at her and kind of make eye contact.
Sure.
Please. Thank you. I'll just keep going.
Yeah, okay.
Theoretically, if there's a window, I can get inside.
So you make your way to the church.
Mm-hmm.
As you approach, you can see in the distance, in front of the front door, those 9 still stand.
All the same 9?
Mm-hmm.
Let's
It's dark, and you don't think they've noticed you yet. You're still maybe 100 feet away in the darkness.
Sorry, you think you can get inside from the back?
If there's an unoccupied space within 30 feet that I can see, I can teleport into it, so yeah.
Then come with me then.
Standing how?
Like at attention. Like soldiers.
What is
how at attention?
What are you looking for?
Are they making naturalistic movement?
Mm.
They're
Can
not
I see
moving at
them?
all.
Huh?
They're not moving at all.
Can I see them breathe, blink,
Yes.
twitch? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to circle around the back. You can come if you want. What is the neighborhood around the church? Like is there like a big open space and it's like, hey, everybody come gather up at the church? Or is it like a residential neighborhood?
So all the buildings are really tightly packed in Treybin, except around the church.
Okay.
There are wide avenues around to all sides of it.
But it is dark?
Yes.
Leave me alone, just like this bitch.
No. Come with me. And I'm gonna like slowly step in the shadows.
Mm-hmm.
You can still be sneaky.
Okay.
How's it go invisible?
Yeah. But if I also want to misstep in and out, I can't.
Okay. I'm gonna, with Surrie hopefully in tow, make my way around to the back.
I'll try.
Okay, you do so.
Mm-hmm.
You don't see a door to the back of the building, but you do see that huge stained glass window up like 2 floors up.
Can we see in anything into the window? Like, is the stained glass like opaque?
It just looks dark from this angle, from the ground.
Okay.
So it's high up.
Yeah, it's like two
Alright.
2 stories up.
If I
That's not
run
gonna work for me then.
up the wall of the church, is there anything that I can cling onto to keep myself up there?
So we ran into this in Barovia, so I'm going to say yes, you can kind of clutch onto the window pane.
Okay, so I'm gonna do that as quietly as I can, and then like clutch onto the window pane and see if I can actually see any movement inside or anything.
Yeah, so you peer up in through the glass, and you see the Father's chambers.
Mm-hmm.
You've been here before, it all looks pretty familiar to you. You don't see anyone inside.
How high off the ground is it?
20 feet.
Okay, then I will shadow step again back down to the ground.
Okay.
And if Surrey's with me, there doesn't seem to be anybody inside his chambers right now.
I have to be able to see where I'm going.
Do you want to get onto my back?
Can you carry me?
If you weigh less than 150 pounds, I can carry you.
I probably do, yeah.
Okay. Well,
So you're going to try to run up the wall with Surrie on your back?
I was, but she seems uncomfortable with that plan, and I like to be, have consent.
There's no other way for me to get in if I can't see where I'm going. That's all.
Even if you both get in, there's still only 2 of you, though.
There might be a way for us to let you guys in, though.
Yeah. One can do that as easy as 2.
Well, I can't get in. I can get up. She can get in. Neither of us can do both. I could punch a hole in the
You
window.
can't
But...
misty set?
No.
Oh.
Oh, wait a
You
minute.
can't shadow step in?
Yeah,
I was gonna
you're
say.
sorry. I run back up the.
Holy shit! I just remembered.
I for some reason was like, yeah, I
Okay,
can do this.
bye.
I can do this outside.
Okay, you run back up.
Then,
Sorry, holy
Clutch
fuck.
onto the window frame again.
then you wait here. I'll see if I can let you in.
All right.
Run up.
Mhm.
And then when I get there, I'm not gonna cling on. I'm just gonna kind of like shadow step.
You can just kind of phase through.
If I can see it and it's dimly lit or dark, I can.
Okay, sure.
Do you want me to message you in like 2 minutes just to check where we're at? Cool.
Yes, please.
Okay. You run up. And as you're running up the side of the wall and you get to the top, you peer through the window and you, in your familiar way, phase through and appear standing directly in the center of Father Copper's office.
Little like 3-point landing to make absolutely sure I'm alone.
No one is in the room with you.
If I may, for a brief moment,
Mm-hmm.
if I notice any of the 9 start to move in the direction of going around the church or inside the church,
Are you did you follow around the backside with these two, or
No.
are you still standing out front?
out front. So I have a clear sight of all 9 of them.
No, they still stand at attention.
Okay. I'm keeping an eye the moment any of them does anything besides that.
Okay.
That's all.
Peering around this office, does anything seem different than when we were in it?
No, it's finely furbished. There's bookcases lining the walls, stacked with volumes. His desk is huge and like this polished wood. There's the drink sort of stand with glass vials and bottles in the corner. Lush sort of like satin and velour furniture spread throughout. There's a lot of excess of wealth in this room.
What exits are there?
There's one door out to the sort of main body of the church.
I will listen at it and see if I can hear anybody patrolling inside, like the
Perception
main.
check.
What is that called? Like a nave?
Oh yeah, the nave is the long, and the transept goes across
All
it
right.
there as well.
Well, I'm gonna re-roll that one because I have DM inspiration, and that was not great.
I'll still do 2.
Slightly better. 18.
The church below is silent.
Slowly push that door open if I can.
You do so. Swings freely and without a sound, and you come out sort of onto the balcony overlooking the main hall of the church. There's no one there.
If I shadow step down to that first floor,
Mm-hmm.
can I see any other entrances or exits?
Just the one at the front of the building.
How do the windows in this place work?
So and on this first level, there are windows,
Oh, okay.
but you can see the all of the walls on this first level are sort of like this lattice work. Kind of like like this, where you can kind of like, and you can see some of the moonlight stream through the openings in the walls.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a chain link fence,
Yeah,
kind of,
yeah,
but the chains are a little bit thicker.
Mm-hmm.
On this first level, you can only see, so there's 2 stairways that lead up to a balcony which circles around the entire second floor,
Mm-hmm.
and then there's the entrance, which you know to be the front door, on the other side of which stand the guards.
How many floors are here? Just 2?
So the first main area kind of takes 2 floors,
Gotcha.
as it were,
Gotcha.
and then I guess you could call his offices starting on the 3rd floor.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a big open area.
Do I get the sense that there is like a basement anywhere?
It's hard to tell. So there's no underneath where his offices are. It's not like his offices are not set over a balcony.
Mm-hmm.
Where his offices are set, the wall comes down. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
There are no other doors or anything else in this sort of main open area.
Then I'm gonna go back to his office and see if I can poke around in there.
Okay. Give me an investigation check.
Not a natural 20.
Okay. You poke around a bit. Everything seems pretty standard, if not lavish.
Mm.
But as you're poking around his desk,
Mm-hmm.
you pull out the sort of drawer over where, one's legs would usually go, the sort of central drawer.
Mm-hmm.
There's nothing unusual in there. A couple of quills, some bottles of inks, some papers with religious texts upon them. But you poke around a bit, and you move your hand into the drawer and feel underneath the top of the desk. And you feel what feels like a button.
Oh, I press the button.
You do so.
Mm-hmm.
And you hear the grinding of some sort of machinery.
How loudly?
Pretty loud.
Oh God. Okay.
As the entirety of the desk and the floor beneath it moves to the side, revealing a staircase beneath.
Did I hear that from outside?
If all of you are outside,
I'm
give
like-
me perception check.
I'm like-
Everyone that's outside, give me a perception
I'm
check.
like
I'm watching the guys,
right
too.
outside.
So you're still out at the front.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I might not hear that, I guess.
Well, give me a perception check anyway.
Okay.
They're gonna as well.
19.
You hear it.
11.
Are you at the front or the back?
Yes. The front.
You don't.
14.
Front. You don't.
I will immediately attempt to message Seren if she's 120 feet away from me or less, and I'll say, "What's going on? Hello? What's happening?"
I found a secret entrance. If there's any way you can get inside with the others, that was fairly loud. It's in his office.
Can I see inside that window? That
No, it's too high up. Alcyone. You see two of the guards. They've been standing like statues up until this point, but you see two of them, just two of them sort of on the edge, move together and confer with one another.
Okay.
But I mean, sir, you could acrobatics check up there if you wanted to try.
I could
still try.
try.
Super
I could try. Okay. I'll try. Yeah. 15.
Yeah. So you sort of like, you take a little bit of a running start towards the back of the church and kind of Hanzo your way up and manage to just get your fingertips onto the windowsill and pull yourself up. The window is still closed, so you can't pull yourself through the window at this point.
But I can see a spot inside the room, an unoccupied space that
You
I can
can.
see. Great, I'll Misty step into the
You do so. Okay, so the two of you are inside Father Cochrane's chambers. Two of you are outside at the front of the church.
Yeah.
Okay.
None of the guards have actually left yet, right?
No, they have not.
Yeah, I'm watching closely.
Can you talk to the others?
I can certainly try. I will attempt to message Alcyone. I will just point in a direction I think she may be.
Towards the front of the church where
Towards
you know I was.
the front of the church where I know she was.
Okay.
And, you know, she's 120 feet away or less and not impeded by, like, several things. A foot of stone, an inch of common metal, a thin sheet of lead, or 3 feet of wood. She may hear my message. Yeah.
Is it composite? You got to go through the whole church. I think that's 3 feet of wood. Well, it's stone actually. The church is made of stone, so yeah, I don't think.
If it's more than a foot of stone.
Yeah, I don't think you can.
Shit. Well, I'll try, but it doesn't work.
Why do I interrupt you?
I gotta get to her.
Do we go without them or...
We may have. I mean, we'll just leave with nothing. Let's go.
Right.
Should we go down the stairs?
Mm-hmm. Can I look at the stairs to see if there's like an obvious tripwire or something?
Yeah. Investigation check.
16.
You don't think so, but there is a orange-ish glow coming from the bottom of the stairs.
Oh, that's cute.
Cool. Very quietly,
Right.
very slowly,
Yes.
we will go.
Okay.
Going down the stairs. Okay.
Quietly and slowly.
Both of you give me stealth checks. You're trying to be stealthy, I would assume.
Yes.
Oh, so many. 30, I think.
25.
Your expertise.
Let me check my notes here.
Fuck you.
Yes.
17 plus 13, 30.
Yep.
Yep.
You both make your way silently down the staircase.
Faces you make, Trevor.
I love the faces you make, Trevor. Thank you.
You make your way silently down the staircase. As you reach the bottom, there's a few more feet of passageway until you come to a bend in the corridor. Where you land at the bottom of the staircase is illuminated in very, very dim orangish light, as if lit by candle fire, growing brighter around the corner of the bend. What would you like to do?
Can I listen and see if there's anyone around? Like, if not for conversation, like for breathing or something, or footsteps.
Mm-hmm. Give me a perception check.
24.
Yeah. So you listen out. You hear in the dim hollows beneath the father's chambers moans of pain and the steady whoosh
Oh, God.
And a low chanting.
Does it sound like the father's voice?
Give me a perception check again.
Oh, Jesus. Yeah, I guess that is what it is, huh? 18?
No.
That's not good. I guess I will.
I wish we had cameras so bad.
What would you like to do?
Besides having that silent conversation, I guess I'm gonna
Let's sneak in.
sneak in with Surrie and try to.
Okay, are you turning the corner or are you just kind of peering around?
I'll peer around first.
Okay.
Yeah, peer around first.
You two just still standing out the front of the building?
I'm watching for any movement from these dudes.
They don't move.
So, how are you, Alcyone? We haven't spoken much
No.
other than about architecture.
That's a lot of it. You feel pretty great tonight.
The two of you peer around the corner. And the sight that meets you is a stomach-churning one. It is a chamber illuminated by nothing but candlelight. A dim orange glow casts upon everything. Horrible tools of torture. You see a figure with chains, manacles around his wrists and ankles, strung up like a starfish, suspended in midair, covered in lacerations, his head drooping low, as if unconscious. And kneeling before the figure strung up is a form with a black hood across their face, bare chest and backed, and with simple cloth running down their legs. But in their hand they hold a cat of nine tails. And they whip themselves across the back. As they rake the cat of nine tails across their back, it carves deep flesh wounds across their back, which instantly heal.
Does the build of this person look like Father Cochrane?
Give me a perception check.
Okay.
But they're the one that's chanting?
Yes.
Thought check.
14.
It's hard to tell, but you've only ever seen him dressed in his sort of priestly arraignments.
Oh, and they're very flattering.
This figure is like
Ripped.
no, he's like desiccated and starved. He looks like a skeleton with skin stretched over his bones.
What the fuck happened to you? Okay.
They're the only two in here.
Yeah, is there anybody else in here?
Does it seem like they're doing this of their own volition?
I mean, they're whipping themselves.
Okay, wait, who's strung up on the wall? I feel like I know the answer, but
It's Mayor Paisley.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
You've met him, yeah, because
Yes,
you saw him at
we've
the
met him.
mermaid.
yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Those two are the only people in the room?
Yep.
Let's go.
I'm making a punching motions for anyone who can't see it.
I take my dagger out.
I'm gonna run up.
Here,
Yeah, I'm gonna run up.
More
I'm-
spinach balls.
I'm gonna run up and, as quietly as I can, I would like to try to stunning strike this person.
Okay, give me a stealth check to approach.
You still have to make an attack roll.
I do. 25?
Yep, you sneak across the dimly lit chamber until you are right on top. You see all 9 heads, the barbed heads of the whip, lash across his back, and the deep cut wounds sew themselves back together across his back. You stand above him. Go ahead, roll the hit.
DJ.
25.
That hits. Yep.
Got my
Great,
shirt
okay.
on.
Well, then he takes...
A bath.
7 points of damage from my fist, and he needs to make a Constitution save.
So you strike him.
Yeah.
Okay. You two need to roll me initiative.
Yep.
You strike into the hooded figure's head, and he flies forward, bashing his face on the floor in front of him.
Does he make his Constitution save?
Well, we're gonna see.
Okay.
As his face smack into the floor in front of him,
Uh-huh.
and then he rises, cat o' nine tails dangling in his hands, and as he turns towards you, there's a black hood across his head, but the face cut out. And where his eyes would be, there is a red and inflamed seam around where his eyes, nose, and upper lip would be, leading to the corners of his mouth. And in place of it, it just looks like flat, pure skin. He
Skin?
raises his head of nine tails, and we'll pick up there next time.
You said skin or bone?
Just skin.
His eyes and ears are missing!
So all he has is mouth.
Huh.
And we'll pick up there next time!
All right.